Hey, watch out, watch out. Oh shit, I didn't know you were chill like that. Jeez. Alright boys, it's time to make a Souls-like with physics. So first we need a character. Done. Next, let's give our character a rigid body. What does a rigid body do, you ask? I don't know, the one in my basement doesn't do much. We also need to make the character move, so let's write a bunch of code to do that, and there we go. We can move, jump, crouch, slide, and even bunny hop? What? We got bunny hop in the game? We got bunny hop? Oh my bunny hop, guys, look! I don't know how that happened, but hey, it happened, so I'll take it. It's definitely a feature, not a bug, guys. I would never lie to you, probably. Which actually means I probably would. Let's also convert the project to HDRP, cause HDRP looks cool. But also be a dumbass and instead break the entire project and cry in a bathtub for 5 hours until you realize everything can be fixed with the press of a single button. I wanna kill myself. Now that that's done, I should probably update the map cause I don't think I need to explain why we need to do that. So I got to work and put together a map where I could test all the movement systems and also made it look pretty cool. I mean, we even got volumetric clouds now. What? We got volumetric clouds? So remember when we added the complete movement system with jumping, crouching, sliding, and even bunny hopping? Boring! We can't have a physics-based movement system in our game and not include 20,000 different ways to traverse the void. That's like common knowledge, I think. So I'm gonna add wall running. It should be pretty simple, right? I mean, it's just like running but on the wall. So I did some coding to set up the wall running. Let's test it out. Well, I guess I accidentally made a human railgun. But hey, it's not that bad, right? I mean, I could probably tweak some values and it should be fixed. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. So I did some more coding to fix the old code and got the wall running working. Now it's working fine, but I think it looks a little bland. So let's add an animation to tilt the camera when we start wall running. Sounds pretty simple, right? Wrong! It took me 2 whole hours to get this working because whatever the this is kept happening, and when I finally fixed that, the animation kept tilting towards the wrong side. But I got it working in the end, and now we have wall running in the game, which is cool beans as they say, and by they I mean me, because I don't think anyone actually says that. Now remember when I said we can't have a physics-based movement system in our game and not include 20,000 different ways to traverse the void? Well, we're gonna add another one, and this time it's gonna be grappling. Now the actual implementation for this was quite simple. Just cast a ray in front of the player and push the player towards any object the ray crosses. But it's just not looking very nice. What the hell? So I wanted to add a wave-like animation to the rope, and I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea how to even get started on that. But luckily, I found this script by Phyiscs that does exactly what I want. So I'm gonna just borrow this, and there we go. We got animations on the grappling rope. Let's go. They're still not as fluid as I want them to be, but we can just tweak some values later and make them look exactly how we want. So it's all good. I also added a green indicator that shows you whether or not you can grapple from an object. Now we can grapple to a certain point, but I also want to add swinging, you know, like Spider-Man. So I did the Ooga, Booga, Smooga on the keyboard, and we even got swinging on. And now that we're much closer to our goal of 20,000 different ways of traversal, let's work on adding some enemies. So for now, I'm just gonna use Banana Man? Yeah, I'm just gonna use Banana Man of the Unity Asset Store, but eventually I'll need to make my own enemy model. And let's just say 3D modeling is not one of my strengths. But that's not something I need to worry about right now. So I added Banana Man into the project, but he just didn't want to cooperate. So let's replace him with Block Boy. Alright, time to come clean. The idea here was to make a movement system for the enemies using inverse kinematics, and I even got a walking animation done. Admittedly not a good one, but a walking animation nonetheless. But at this point I realized that this isn't what I want. I wanted a purely physics-based movement system for the enemies, so that it feels extremely fluid even in basic scenarios like having a collision with one of them or pushing them off a cliff. So sadly, I had to get rid of many hours of work because I had no use for it anymore. At this point, I was really burnt out from working on enemy logic, so I decided to do some 3D modeling instead. And this is exactly why I said 3D modeling is not one of my strengths. I mean, just look at him. How can I make something so cursed? But that's not the end of it. I then went on to turn that abomination into this. Oh man, I don't even know what to say anymore. F this 3D modeling shit. Anyway, remember how I said I wanted a purely physics-based movement system for the enemies? Well, I came across this thing called Euphoria physics. It's basically the ragdoll system used in big games like GTA and Red Dead Redemption. Now this system was much closer to what I wanted to implement. Obviously not at the scale of these games, but something similar to it. There's just a slight problem. There is absolutely no material available on what it actually is and how it actually works. I had a few ideas myself on how to implement this, but I just didn't know where to start. And after days of searching through the depths of the internet, I found this gold mine of a video by the Cooper J. Now this video was posted 8 years ago, and it talks about how we can make a physics-based object mimic the movement of an animated object. Let me explain. So basically you make two copies of the same object, add animation to one like you normally would, and add physics to the other one. Now through script we can make the physics-based object follow the movements of the animated object. Pretty cool, right? The good thing about this is that the physics-based object does not exactly copy the movements of the other object. It just sort of tries its best. So for example, if the physics-based object had a collision mid-animation, it would react naturally to that collision. And you can do so much more with this. Just imagine pushing a character and it naturally loses its balance, or shooting a character with bullets and their body reacting to the massive force. The possibilities are endless and I f***ing love it. Anyways, enough yapping. Time to actually implement this. I created a new temporary project and made the example that is shown in the video. Here the green object is based on physics and the blue object is animated. You can see that upon interaction with another object, they both behave very differently. And I know what you're thinking, they look like two dicks flopping around, and you're right. They do look like two dicks flopping around. Actually, I made them look like two dicks flopping around just to bring out the dirtiness of your mind and completely expose you to everyone. Alright, now that we've successfully created a working example, it's time to implement it in the game. But before that, we need to do something about this. Oh shit, I might change my mind after seeing this. No. Snap out of it. He cannot lure me with his evil gaze. He needs to be stopped. And to stop him, we need to make a new, better enemy model.
O promised one, be bored, for you shall save my dignity as game developer, and you shall fan the flames of the atrocities committed by an ignorant past version of myself. Approach then, and reveal yourself to this world.
It's a degenerate. Anyway, I think this one actually came out looking nice. Given my 3D modeling skills, I think it looks pretty cool. But that's just my opinion, guys. Let me know what your opinion is in the comments down below, and you could get me a PS5. And while you're at it, why not subscribe the smash button? It only increases your chances of you getting me a PS5, maybe. You may have also noticed that I went from a knight to a robot for the enemy model. That's because I was thinking of setting the game in a medieval style, but then I realized that it just wouldn't make sense. I mean, where was I gonna grapple from? The trees? You get the point. It just made more sense to keep a futuristic setting for the game, so I did it. Well, time to add the new model into the game. Out with the old and in with the new. Check that out, guys. Doesn't he look just like Lee Gandhi?
Lee Gandhi's nuts.
So for now, our enemy just stands in a T-pose and is not interactable at all. So let's change that by setting up a ragdoll for him. And just like that, we've made a very dead robot that we can push around for our pleasure. Heck yeah! Then I set up each limb individually to follow the movements of the animated body. And there we go. Wait, that's not right. And there we go, our character is all set up now. Other than the fact that he's frozen in place and doesn't do anything else, so our character is not set up at all. But before we address that, let's make a weapon. Cause what's the point of having enemies in the game if you can't actually fight them? It's kinda like making YouTube videos when you have no one to watch them. Oh, well, I meant that as a joke, but it's actually pretty sad. you know who else will be sad? This robot when I massacre his entire family with this sword. Look at it, so cool. Serrated leather grip, not a dildo. Metal thing. Procedural materials. How does it work? I don't know. So cool. Wow. Okay, before adding the sword to the game, I'm gonna set up the enemy. First, let's unfreeze him. Whoa, I think he got a little too excited, guys. So I fixed it and now he's on his knees. Oh, whoa, no, get off me, you weirdo. What the fuck, man? I've just made a horny degenerate robot. Well, once he was done with that, he got possessed by a demon or something. I don't know, you tell me. What does this look like? I have no idea what's going on anymore. How am I supposed to fix this? After hours of fixing, I finally got him to start walking around. But we don't want him to walk around randomly, which is why I made it so that he would go into full physics mode only when he's pushed around by the player. Now remember when I spent hours learning inverse kinematics and didn't even use them? Well, those hours didn't actually go to waste, because I ended up using the inverse kinematics to make the robot turn towards the player when you get close to him. And in the beginning, he didn't really want to do that. Actually, he kinda did the opposite. But I fixed the script and it works correctly now, which is pretty cool. Now the only thing left to do is to add pathfinding to the enemy so that he can track me around objects and stuff. And I did this by using Unity's built-in navmesh system, and it works great. What? Then he started to moonwalk at me. See, at least he's walking now, but why? Why wouldn't you just walk normally? Now to fix this, I did some code with
Rotations, vectors, and quaternions.
Honestly, I don't even know how it works, but it definitely works, so we'll take it. Hey, watch out, oh shit, I didn't know you were chill like that. Jeez. Alright, now that the enemy logic is complete, let's add the sword model we made earlier to the game. Now before we link the sword to the player, I want to add some sway to it, so that when the player is moving, it seems natural and not just awkwardly placed there. But there is a slight problem with that. You see, I don't know how to implement that. So I searched on the internet and found this video by Buffa2 that shows an in-depth tutorial of how to implement this.
Continuing on, we plug our speed curve value into both a sine and a cosine function to get our desired position and rotation. For the basic position bobbing, we're essentially using our curves to generate tortoise vector 3 with a fairly small.
Wait, what's that? Let me just So I implemented the code shown in the video and now it works great. I also added this attack animation with particles and set up the complete attacking logic for the player.
NANI?
Yeah, stay down this time, bitch. You, I'ma cut your dick off. I also added some force to the slashes. Okay, maybe I added too much force to the slashes. So I reduced the force and yeah, it's pretty fun to push the enemies around, slash them, and then watch their dead bodies bounce around. Hey, I'm not a psychopath, you have to believe me guys. Hey, at this point I realized I was supposed to make a Souls-like. And so far, it's not really looking like one. So I did what I had to do. Yep, you probably saw it coming. Bonfires! I added a shiny cube that would serve as a bonfire for now, and you can interact with them to reset enemies in the area. So yeah, my game is basically a certified Souls-like now. But something's still missing. What is it? Well... So yeah, I set up an entire map to showcase the game's features so far, and let's not waste any more time. Roll the clip. thanks for watching so far. This is everything I've been able to add to the game up until now, and I've got a lot more stuff planned, so hey, stay tuned for that. Also, I have to say thanks to Ooga for his free Blender add-on that allowed me to generate the buildings for this map, so definitely check him out on Sketchfab. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.